Hello, everyone. Sorry, but we late. I had a lot of stuff going on at home here, but here we are. So welcome, Gwen.
Thank you. I was thinking with that storm that went through. Ooh, that was a rough.
Okay, so here we are today talking really about the season, how that really affects, isn't it?
Yes. Well, I mean, the major reason is because it's such a tangible marker that time has passed, right? Like, a lot of people have mentioned flipping the calendar to the new year is really hard. Well, the seasons are like doing that 4 times when we go from winter to spring, spring to, spring to summer, summer to fall, fall to winter. It's the marker that more time has passed. And I think no matter what memory those seasons hold, which is another reason why they're so hard. It's just that more time has passed without our child, and there's no denying it when time doesn't stand still for us.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Yeah. And I love the fact that, some people wrote in about just different memories of each season. And I think, yeah, I think, I've given tips, I've spoken on it, we'll give some today, but that honoring your child in every season and those memories and being able to talk about that is like number one in my book. And so it was really fun to read what people said.
Yeah. This topic really kind of made me really think, because of course, as I talk about in the podcast a lot, I do facilitate the support group for Charlotte last week, right? It's our last week before we break for summer, and obviously spring has come, and it's kind of morphed into almost, and it just felt like, this ends up being a really hard time. Like,
it is.
You go through changes, and I thought, I don't think we've really talked very specifically, at least, about what the change in seasons can do.
Right. And you just mentioned a key one. When a support group ends, and as someone who led the ministry, has led support groups my whole entire life, any group that takes a break for the season or for something is always hard on at least a majority of the members, because it's their lifeline and saying goodbye and they don't want to. On the flip side, especially in our state, Mercy, Michigan is what we live, or summer's what we live for, right? Like, it's our, and regardless of whether people, what's the word? I mean, I know they understand it, but whether they realize it or not, attendance in Michigan is way down in the summer. So having a group, people just don't want to make the commitment, finding the volunteers that you could have for 6 weeks that won't have a vacation, or, it's a nice night and your neighbors invite you over for a barbecue and you're like, oh, I got my group tonight. You'd rather go to the barbecue because summer doesn't last real long. And so that's why those things take a break. Grief doesn't. I know that.
No.
But
yeah.
The other thing that, have you ever had this, because you've been through a few cycles of the group where you're on the group, or you're in the group and then you take a break and you think, oh, how am I going to do without it? But have you ever realized that you really are okay, and like it was okay to have the break?
That's a really good, because since I've been with my groups now, most of the time they sort of choose totally take a break. Okay, so we are done. The Starlight curriculum is done. I am done leading, but I usually have somebody that kind of picks up takes the responsibility of, hey, we're going to just get together via Zoom, just so it doesn't feel so long. So it is frequent, and we don't do it. It's not the So in that, I would say yes. And sometimes, of course, when it's every other week like that, you can't make it, right? Something's
Right.
going on. You can't make everyone, and then suddenly it's a month, right? You miss one, and now it's a month. And I think you're right. I think you do better than you think you.
Mhm.
But I also feel I've very few of the I've been working with, I felt okay to say, okay, let's just go 3 months and we're fine, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I think there's a different bonding that maybe happens. I've sensed your group has bonded in a different way, and I think the moms, especially who these are my people, it is hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and
Mhm.
and I do like the fact there are a lot of people who meet casually, or I know even in a widows group, when we break, the widows get together, maybe go out to dinner, or because for them, Saturday nights, weekends are hard, so they plan something that they're together, and so
Well,
those are
and
good things.
the difference between a virtual group and an in-person group, because I
Mm,
think I I actually sort of think that's a great opportunity that Starlight in-person groups takes the whole summer off, because it does enable to, if you want to get together with these people, it's on you now to kind of socialize.
right.
Person group, and we had a
Mhm.
several of the families, and we went over to someone's house and we played games, and it was great and we loved it. And had we not, that would have happened, right? So
Right, right.
but in a virtual group it's just different, because I can't, go, obviously, as much as I would love to fly to the UK and see one of my,
Yeah,
participants there, and as a so have a cup of tea with her.
right.
That's so, but twice a month, be little something socially, and it's nice. It's different. I mean, there's no curriculum. It's just it's different, you know,
Mhm,
to do, but it's a different feel.
mhm, mhm. And it is scary and vulnerable at first. I know anything that changes is hard.
Mhm.
But what I also just heard you saying is there's pros and cons to each season, and that's one of the things with transitions is, I mean, transition is when you're going from one state to another, like you're moving from something. And so even, as moms were we in school versus summer, you were transitioning from full on
Mhm.
schedule, have to be up every morning for the bus or for the carpool to don't have to be up, or it just looks
Yeah.
different, or, all those things have their pros and cons. Because I remember loving when the schedule was done, like, the pressure of the schedule was gone, but I
Mhm.
also remember loving when it came back in the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when you're at a group, that makes it hard too. I
Oh, definitely.
started thinking about that. Like, you think about those summer vacations that you used to take with your kids,
Mhm.
and it just doesn't look the same anymore.
Yep.
And all of that kind of stuff, or back to school, or all of these things, all of these like transitions that happen
Mhm.
with when there's somebody so important not there anymore. Oh,
Yeah. They're all
it's
reminders, every single one of them. Yep.
yeah. I've got to share that really, um that Andy's choir director, that he was in for
Mhm.
4 years, going on the fifth, when he died, and then Peter was in it an extra 2 years after. um he retired, and
Mm.
Sunday. I go to those concerts. I sit in the back on the wayside every time. Every time I sit in the back and the side, because I cry through the whole thing and I don't want to be a spectacle. And the other
Mhm.
reason, I sit back so far that I cannot see, because then I close my eyes and I hear
Mm.
and I feel him. And so to have Scott be directing that for the last time just was hard. I mean, that
Mm.
to think about like
Mhm.
going away. I mean, they're still going to have the choir, they're going to have a different director, they're going to have different things, but, you know, it was just difficult. And the end, they had all the former choristers that had sung in the choir stand up. So there's Peter standing by,
Mhm.
and all I could think, he shouldn't be standing by himself.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so I feel like that was kind of part of a, the end of a season. So
Yes. Very much so. Yeah. And each one is just it's a constant reminder of what, like you said, what should have been, what didn't need to have happened. For you to have both of your sons standing is what you would have wanted, and that reminder that day, it those things just catch us off guard
yeah.
sometimes. You probably knew going in it was gonna be emotional. Mhm.
Oh, every single one
Yeah.
is emotional. I'm
Um,
out and walking, and somebody walks beside me and like, oh, that must have been hard because it's Scott's. They're all hard. I mean, they're all hard. I cry every single time. Now,
mhm,
you know,
mhm,
I heaving outside because I was so bad. But I mean, so it was worse than,
mhm.
but yet they're all bad. And then I think to myself, well, why do I do this to myself every single concert? Because there are 4 concerts. They're very seasonal. Okay. So
Yeah,
fall
yeah,
concert, the Easter, spring, and then the spring. Okay.
yeah.
And I do this to myself. I feel closest to him. So even though I cry and even though it's like horrible, I
Mhm.
close and I feel him.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it.
yep, yep. So that's what reminders do. They remind us of all the beautiful things, and you wouldn't wanna miss it because you feel close to him, but then the reminders also break our heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword for sure.
That's exactly right. But I
Yeah.
did feel it really did fit with what's happening, what this conversation
Oh, yes.
about
Yeah.
and transitions and like that.
And
So
and even when it happens, like, I'm thinking of aging because I have my mother-in-law who are aging, that we know that that's what happens, right? If you live long enough, some of these things are gonna change, but it's not easy. Like, it's hard to have those goodbyes or the reminders that I can't do that anymore, and, many
yeah.
people who have taken care of someone have watched that, like so the seasons of the life cycle too, and I think retirement reminds us that, like, this person who you've held so dear and was part of your choir family, he's probably retiring because he's at that age. I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe
Yeah.
there's another reason, but those are hard too, that reminders that we're getting older, and however whether, I was thinking of my mother every day that she's aging and losing functionality. She's also tells me she's one day closer to being with her savior and seeing her husband again, right? Like, so,
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Well, and it's hard too because then we think of our own kids that didn't. I don't know. I mean, just feel cheated, right? Feel cheated that
Oh, oh, that
uh,
didn't get to age. Yeah,
they
for
didn't get
sure.
paid, right?
Yes.
So
But what I meant, like, every stage, everything has like, every ending hurts.
yeah,
Yeah.
e- everyone.
Mhm. Yeah. But
Well, we. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, go ahead. I thought you were gonna move
Well,
to the questions maybe.
I am going to move to the questions. Is
Yeah.
that okay?
Yep, I
So,
think it's great.
so we had some questions this week and got some really nice responses, I thought,
Mhm.
especially about your child's favorite season, all of those types of things. I thought really so. Um, so I'd love to kind of go through some of those things, and if you've got comments, actually, do you want to just do you have that up? Do you want to read through
I
the?
do. Yeah, so
Why
Michelle
don't you read through that, and then we can also invite some people if you can as well, have to some of these questions. So go ahead.
Right. Um, so Michelle Ferris said Corbin loves summer, and so did I. Did I? So I'm wondering if she no longer likes summer. We had our tradition of going to Yogi Bear camping every summer with a couple other families. We started it when he was 2 and continued for 17 years. We also enjoyed going up north to my brother's cottage and tubing and kayaking down the river. We love going to the movies any time of year. And of course, summer movies was always fun. I miss all of it so much. And now summer is when I lost him on a fun family holiday, no less. Yeah. So
Yeah.
all those things for her that she used to love and have. Yeah.
Exactly.
And a lot of people, the season they don't like is the season in which their child died, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I was gonna have you read the question. Could you read the question
Oh,
too?
yeah, sure. Sorry. The question was, what is your child's favorite season and what was yours? I think
Okay.
we did make it a past tense because
We
maybe
did.
it's
We
no
did make it
longer,
a
yeah.
wondering if it was
Yeah. So she said and so did I. Yeah, because I'm sure summer now is just a a lot of reminders, and vacations aren't
a
the
lot.
same, and we both know her to know, yeah, that he was her only child, and so it's, yeah, huge changes. Then
Yeah.
Mary Pat, um, Robinson Mitchell said Ben loved fall because football games started and grueling summer practices were over, and spring because it meant baseball. This was the first spring, 5 years out, that the weather change didn't take me down.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
And honestly, isn't that a little to celebrate, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think for those who are down in the change of season can see that it's normal, right?
Yeah, right,
That
exactly.
it does take you down. But
Mhm.
the first time that it didn't, I love that for her.
Yeah, so and then, um, there are a couple people that here wrote on, winter. So Ju and Matthew's favorite winter, where he could do his favorite for playing hockey and skiing. Every season he was diagnosed in the summer of 2019 and passed away 10 months later. So every season has hard, bittersweet memories of all his as he truly embraced. But as I get older in Alaska, I enjoy the sun and warmth while embracing the beauty of Matthew's favorite season.
Mm.
That is a really, really good point, I thought,
Mhm.
about the fact that because he had an that spanned a year, she's really got memories of the last summer, the last fall, the last winter.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that makes it that's a no whole different level of conversation, isn't it?
Right, meaning the first that you experience?
Well, just this that those memories one in that trying to appreciate the last fall, trying to appreciate
Yes.
knowing that he's sick. I mean, it's
Right.
so mean, like, Andy, I lost him in a car accident. I didn't know if
Right. I see what you're saying. Yes.
I didn't like I didn't have any special of we're gonna cherish this fall
Mhm.
or spring or whatever. I didn't
Right.
have so I
Yeah.
think it adds a little bit of a different dimension when your child is ill through
Yeah.
all
Yes,
the
you're seeing through a completely different lens. I mean, those of us who just don't know that tomorrow's our last, we don't live with the same lens as they have, cherishing those moments and saying,
Mhm.
"This isn't gonna last forever," and just, every sunset, everything you do, you just soak that in. And it's kind of like parents who, maybe have multiple kids and you've made a decision that this is your last one. Um,
Yeah.
you do look at it in a different lens
Yeah.
because you know
Oh,
it doesn't last forever and you've not gonna have these experiences anymore.
yeah, right. For
Mhm.
sure. I mean, I
Yeah.
think about Peter I knew was gonna be my last. You did
Mhm. Yeah.
differently.
Yep. I tried very hard to cherish every moment, and that's one of the things that death has, um, taken me or given to me is that I do cherish it because we don't know if this is our last. So just
Mhm.
stopping to treasure things. And um, I don't know if I've ever told you this story before, but my junior year of high school, my parents took my best friend and I. We had gone to Florida. My uncle lived in West Palm Beach, and we had driver's license, and our parents trusted us to just go spend the day at the beach. We went t-shirt shopping. We were coming back to their home. There's the ocean, the sun setting, and I'm driving my aunt and uncle's car, and I'm kind of nervous. I'm in this big city, and
Yeah.
my friend says, pull the car over. I'm like, what? And so I pull the car over. She said, get out. And we just looked at the ocean and looked at, and she said, we're never going to be 16 again with our hair blowing in the wind, standing by the ocean. Let's just breathe it in. Don't talk, Gwen. Don't talk. Just breathe it in. And I think so many times in life, she always has that quality, but I wish I had it more, just to stop and breathe in a moment.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
she's
love
right.
that.
Yeah, we've
Oh,
never been 16 again, standing at the side of the ocean without a care in the world.
that's beautiful.
Mhm. Yeah. But I do think that people who live with that awareness, whether they know something's coming, they can treasure things that when life just changes in an instant,
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
totally different. I have to go up to Dennis. Blue says
Yeah.
Mandy loved fall because she could throw on a sweatshirt and be cozy. Also loved rainy days during fall where she could grab a book and curl up on the couch with her dog. So it's like, yeah,
I love that too.
I do too. Because I
Mhm.
can just picture it, like those
Yeah.
cozy days of, yeah.
Yeah. We've got some more here. I feel like I want to read them all.
Yeah, I think so.
So Holly wrote, Brittany loved summer so she could swim, and fall because it was the start of TikTok season for FFA. And as she started college, Aggie football started up. She loved those games. Summer was always one of my favorites. The season she best. Fall has long been my, but it stings now because she died. I,
Mm,
I was the only one that struggled much with the season changing. Glad I'm not alone, but so many of you experience it also.
mhm.
Again, just showing a good discussion this up to people
Yeah,
because I don't think it's commonly thought of as an issue, right?
yeah. Oh,
And
definitely.
non-grieving people, I don't think they understand how it's hard.
Well, here's the other thing. The trivial chatter that we do with people when we're just run into someone in the grocery store, or we're just passing in the school halls and you see another mom, it's always about the weather, right? When there's not a deep conversation.
Mhm.
And even it's just trivial chatter when you're not bereaved, but when you're bereaved, it carries so much more in it. Like,
Yeah.
because we're feeling like, mentioned here, I'm glad I'm not the only one who feels so sad. So when someone says, "Oh, beautiful day out," we're probably not going to go, "It actually makes me very sad because this was the season in which," I mean, I don't know that we're going to do that,
No, of course not.
except in this setting,
You
right?
think it, but you
Yeah.
don't. None of us say it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Here's a short little one from Marcy. Michael loved winter snowboard and summer water ski. So I guess he just liked being on some sort of a ski type of thing. So that's
Right. Yeah. Carolyn said Michael loved winter and it snowed on the day of his wake and it made me more sad. I love spring. Now I feel sad with the change and I'm glad you're addressing this. I thought it was just me. Yeah.
yeah, again. So
Mhm.
to Lenny and I love pool and tanning and the cruise here in Toronto. She loved gardening and soaking in the suns with her face. How I'm, and that's another too, is just when those the memories of all of those amazing, wonderful times that you had, and you just
Mhm.
that just gets to be so, so big, right?
Mhm. Yes. Oh, well, memories are the things that just keep grief open too. Like, we can maybe go along and feel like, okay, but the memories come in and it just keeps that heart open to the beauty and the pain, that recall. And I just want to tell people though, and we talked about it just in the series that I did in February on your podcast, is that those aren't bad things when that happens. Like facing the pain, it hurts, but it's therapeutic to do. So
Mhm.
we don't want people to go, oh, if the seasons make me sad, then I'm just not gonna think about that or allow
Yeah.
those memories to come in. It's good, they need to. Yeah. Oh, did you see Melissa's Chelsea's was fall? She loved Halloween and the color changing of the leaves. She loved wearing hoodies and flannels. Everyone wore a flannel to her visitation. She passed away in the fall.
Oh, that's making seasons really special then, isn't it?
Yeah.
How she feels, I wonder. But that's cool that they brought in even to her, right, in celebration of life. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, and I was thinking of the other one about curling up with a book in rainy days, is that
Yeah.
now knowing that when other people experience that, they remember, and I'm sure all the people who wore a flannel, then when they wear that flannel again, they think of her and how much she liked
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yep. And then we
Kind
have
of
Jane's favorite was summer. He loved camping, fishing, and mostly being home. Oh.
mm, yeah.
And then Pam wrote, Brett loved all seasons, winter for a fire and camping, summer for boat riding. He loved the outdoors. So
Mhm.
just so many
Yeah.
good question. I just loved it. It was just great. Mhm.
Yeah. Very, very good. I think, did we read them all? Yes,
I
I think we
thought
did.
we did. Uh-huh.
Um, I was going to say something about, there was something about memories. It left me. Um, One of the tips that these are not the tip. I had some that I was going to share, but I was reading something that said if you have, I was more along the lines of seasonal depression too, because some people have that on top of their grief, where they have seasonal, um, difficulties in the winter,
Mhm.
and some people use the sunlight, or what do they call that? That warm
Yeah.
sunlight.
They're light boxes. Mhm.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Um, is that, they say that spring cleaning helps with that, and I thought, "Does it really?" Like, does spring cleaning really help? Is that a tip to help with, the seasons changing and coming into spring? I just thought it was interesting. It's not, like I
Mhm.
said, it's not one of my tips, but I read that and I just thought, "I don't know, maybe people are right. No, spring cleaning never helps
Maybe,
me with anything."
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe so, maybe not. Um, well, should we move on to our next
Okay.
question?
Sure.
So the next question, and now, which season feels the hardest in life? So, and I like the point that, well, we put with this one. For so many of us, the answer to that second question, surprise, it is not always. So, I wanted to see and if it was kind of different. So we've got this one as well, and I think we should kind of read through these.
Yeah,
So
I'm trying to find those. Are those on Instagram or is those,
no,
let me
those are on.
see here.
So Marcy wrote, "Fall is my toughest
Oh,
season because my
I got it.
birthday for
Mhm,
Halloween I used to make for him. So
mhm.
that was because of birthday. So I think sometimes it's because of when the person died. Sometimes birthdays. Sometimes their favorite season was. So
Well, and the other thing sometimes is because she said here, what I used to make for him, that when that time comes around, do you still make them? Is there any, it was a something that she did for him. Um, and then it becomes that loss of a role too. Do I still get to make those treats or not? They don't have the, so it's a change of our role too and what we do.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, I'm going to read through Alicia's here. So,
Okay.
spring brings so much melancholy for me. On one
Mhm.
hand, refreshed and excited to see the sun, have longer days, see buds on the trees, and smell the sweet spring air. On the other hand, it makes my heart ache and brings tears to my eyes. It makes me feel raw. I miss my son extra on the most beautiful spring day. I am heartbroken he is not here to feel the sun on his face in this new season. It caught me off guard the first season. Each year, I forget that the melancholy is coming, and it surprises me a little. Then I remember this is part of my life cycle now.
Yes.
This may be my favorite, actually, because
Mhm.
this goes to that part on sometimes it surprises us what it is. She was 100% surprised. There is no
Mhm.
of birthday time, a death anniversary time, anything like that. It is just that it is a time of new life and, you know,
Mhm.
and more what traditionally had been kind of happier times for her, and
Mhm.
melancholy comes, right?
Yes. And, you know, uh, back in the it was I think it was even in the 1800s. They used to, when people were bereaved, they'd say they were in a state of morb, and they'd allow them to be in that state, and it meant temporary melancholy, that you were gonna go up and down, and they understood that about bereaved people, and as I mentioned, our society doesn't have as many words for bereaved people. There's some cultures that have lots of them, and if we had more words, it would give people insight onto how we're feeling, and so that melancholy that she uses, that it's just she uses the word raw, heartbroken, caught off guard, um, all those things. The world doesn't understand that, but so clearly all the bereaved people truly get that. But the part I love is the my life cycle now. And that's the other thing that the change of scenery
Mm,
reminds us, that there is a cycle of life.
yeah.
And now
Yeah.
her cycle, she knows that this is just part of her cycle.
Yep. Mm,
Yeah.
100%.
Mhm.
Well, do you want to read one here? Do you have them
Sure.
up now?
Yep, I do, I found them. Kim
Okay.
says, "March is when it starts. March 8th used to be my heart dog's birthday until it became the day that propelled me into a nightmare I couldn't get away from. My son's birthday is also in March. He passed in April, and then Mother's Day. It's all so hard, and I feel it coming before I look at the calendar. I found myself remembering things I was noticing in January and February that made me think at the time, that's odd. And then I had an uneasy feeling with each of them. I remembered shaking my head and chiding myself for thinking that way. After my son passed, I was looking at pictures and came across some that I took that had me feeling like I was being prepared for something. I'll never know if what I felt was real, but it felt like it."
Mm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Um, there was something as I was reading this. First of all, those uneasy feelings, what when our gut gives us those, it's like, what are these? What does this mean? Um,
Yeah.
and we've talked about that before. But I know when she said I didn't even have to look at the calendar. It's like our body
Yes.
keeps score. We know,
Yep.
it's just coming, and you don't even have to look. You just know.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember this goes back many years ago. I remember my daughter was having a really bad day and she didn't know why she was having a day. And she was talking to me about it and she said, and then I looked at the calendar and I realized it was the 15th
Mhm,
because 15th, and that was when we were still just kind of
mhm,
funny how you don't
mhm,
and for me, talking about these seasons that are hard, um, it so Andy died on obviously the 15th of August. And but it doesn't mean that all of summer is terrible for me. It's so funny because it really is that the transition to back to school for me
mhm,
because he was in his orientation and the soccer, he just been, named starter to the soccer team in the first soccer game.
mhm,
But it wasn't really fall either. So So I talk about the change in seasons being a big thing, but for me, it's it's that August into back to school, but not,
Mhm.
you see?
Yeah,
So
I do.
we turn August, and just like that said, I don't even have to know that it's August.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
can feel when it switches to
Mhm.
feel it. And all of that, the sports stuff starting, all those things starting for school, before school actually, that's when it gets me. That's when it gets.
Mhm.
And by the time it's starting to cool down and the leaves are changing and all, well, that's not so much, right? It's
Right.
the early time that's the worst. So
Yeah. And
it,
when you said that back to school, it's not just the season, it's the stores that remind you, it's the commercials, it's the seeing a kid walking down the street with their backpack. There's so many other reminders that hit,
Mhm.
Mhm.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think so. And what reminded me of that with this last person writing in was saying that it all starts on the 8th of March and then goes through Mother's Day. Well, and it's really dates on the calendar that are
Mhm.
not like the physical changing of the season, because I don't know where this listener is. If they're in Michigan, the 8th of March is still dead of winter. Spring, not even on.
Right.
But so a lot of times it's just certain dates on the calendar that get you, right?
Oh, definitely. And Mother's Day, oh, I mean, not many people mentioned that, but that, is a really hard day. I mean, and it's a holiday that, there's some it's, not one of the top if Mother's Day was a weekday, they probably wouldn't give us the day off work, right? Um,
Right,
it's
right.
probably not that, what they consider the major holidays, but for a bereaved mom, it is definitely so
Mhm.
hard. And I love the fact that a lot of our world seems to be more sensitive, like with Mother's Day, that there are people who longing to be mothers, people have lost their mothers, people who have lost their children. Like we're just so much more open about that kind of stuff. I don't know if you saw it on, whether it's on social media, just all sorts of openness for ways people feel on Mother's Day. And I loved having that. I mean, I follow, many different people in this, Stephanie, what's her last name? I'll think of it. Grant. She's a psychiatrist, I think, or a psychologist, but she put up all these different things like, I'm sorry that your mother couldn't be there for you when you needed her. And one of them just said, I'm sorry your mom sucks. And I know a friend whose mom sucked, and I sent it to her. And she said that just made her day because every Mother's Day she wakes up feeling like I did not get a good mother. I don't like celebrating this. So
Oh,
there's
yeah.
so many different feelings on all of these things.
Yeah. Well, and I can tell you who's lost her mother and her son. That's a real day. I
Yeah.
don't like it at all. And it's so funny because Eric has been at times a little with me that, I don't want to celebrate Mother's Day. And then I have made the assumption that he doesn't want to celebrate Father's Day, which is totally untrue because he does want to celebrate Father's Day. But
Mhm.
now is because I lost my mother and
Yeah.
he's lost his son, but his dad is still,
Mhm.
not
Mhm.
so maybe it's partially that. Partially
Maybe
kind of ruined on both ends for
both
me. So,
ends. Yep.
yeah, so I think that makes it a little bit more difficult.
Mhm.
Just hit me now after all these years. Boy,
Yeah,
wow.
that
Uh,
makes sense.
three more people here too. So I'll read Melissa. I love summer, so each year I get a little depressed. However, fall we lost Chelsea. Fall, it starts in August, Chelsea's birthday, then Halloween, her favorite holiday, and then November, her anniversary date. And then we start with all the holidays. Each year since she passed, I can't wait for January to get here.
Mm.
Hard too, especially August through December, just feeling like all the
Mhm.
bad.
Yep. I like that what Melissa says is like, and we talk about this when we talk about the holidays, is all of us just want to skip over it. I mean, for her, it's the whole fall season starting in August. Like, let's just
Yeah.
get January here because it's reminder after reminder. And there are a lot of people like that that have, the birthdays near the anniversary of the death, near other, events and things that just bring painful reminders. So, yeah, sometimes we just want to skip over certain seasons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and it everything is dependent on, like I said, the lenses we're looking through because, um, when I was thinking just now, like, some people aren't, obviously looking through a pained lens, but, where my mind went is, like, storms. Some people love storms. They absolutely love watching them. But then there's
Mm-hmm.
who maybe, lineman who works on high voltage electricity, they're not looking they hate storms, right?
Yeah.
Um, you know, there's just so many things. It's what it carries for you that makes it so hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. It is Abby who wrote to a homeschooling mother. February is always considered the longest short month of year. The holidays are long behind and the spring break seems far away. It's still dark and cold, and our list of things that you are behind in seems daunting. I think it is fitting that my son died on February 2nd this year, since I've always found this month difficult. I haven't made it to my first after yet, though, but I'm guessing I won't be finding future Februarys any easier.
No.
Nope.
No, you won't.
Nope. Not
Yep.
at all.
It's kind of extra difficult, but I always think it's, and sometimes when it comes like that, like, well, it was already kind of a sucky month, so I'm gonna continue to be really,
Mhm.
really, but it's
Yep.
hard. It's hard. And it is hard when I think it's that February can be so hard when it's just so
Mhm.
dark and so
Yeah.
nothing happens.
Right. So for her, she never liked it anyway. Now she's really not going to like it. For some people, loved a season, and now it's the season their child died in, and they
Yeah.
no longer like it. Right.
Yeah.
So,
That's really hard to know. I mean, it's just one of those things I've said so many times, like, you don't know what's better. It's both just bad, right?
right.
Everything.
Oh, definitely. Um, Caroline says fall was never my favorite. Now it just signals holidays without Michael and then his eternal death date and multiple hard days after and his birthday and other anniversaries that are linked to him, making winter very, very long. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
and the word long, I mean, again, for those of us who live in Michigan, it means something different, but it is long. Like, some of these seasons
Yeah.
last a while, and the darkness, but like you mentioned, though, when spring comes and it's nice and shiny outside and we don't match that feeling, sometimes we prefer
Mhm.
the darkness of winter.
Yeah.
Um,
I know. I remember when Andy's funeral day, it started to rain for a little while, and I was so happy because I just wanted it to rain. And so I was thinking a little bit about when she said her son died on February 2nd, like, you just want it to be terrible weather. And then you think, "Oh, February 2nd can always be pretty terrible weather, and that's okay,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Just the kind of day it is.
yeah.
Some hard when you and everyone's having a great time when you're just like, no, today's supposed to be horrible.
Yes, I agree. Because I shared this before on here, but when we had the loss of our tuba pregnancy and, people know that it was on a Thursday, um, and then that Saturday was our neighborhood block party, and it was August, and so all the neighbors were out, and I remember sitting on the lawn chair and thinking, "I do not wanna be celebrating," but we had, a son who wanted to play all the games and be there, and all the neighbors expected us, right? And I'm thinking, I just wanted it to storm. I wanted the whole event to be ruined, and here was just a beautiful day, and no one knew how dark I felt on the inside. Like, it just was I wanted it to storm.
Yep. I think that's a beautiful point, right? I
Yeah.
these days are hard, these seasons are hard, and you just sometimes I think you want the weather to
Yeah, you
right.
want it to match. Yeah.
Mhm.
I did flip over to Instagram because I do know, you know that we started a little bit late because of, some stuff going on, but I have to end at,
Yeah.
my time because I have a board meeting, and I am the chairman of the board, so I do have to be there. Um, that someone on Instagram, wrote, "Spring, we went on mission trips to South Texas, and Pike played with kids he couldn't speak the language with, and he was always the first to the door as we handed out groceries in the neighborhood. Summer, he loved the water and especially fishing, scout and church camp. Fall, his birthday was always during the state fair, and we would play hooky and take a friend or two. Winter, he loved Christmas, helped me decorate, had a hugely extensive and random Amazon wish list, and always played in the snow when we had it."
Oh, that's
That's a
beautiful.
beautiful memory of each season. I love it.
I think that's good too, and I love that's what you talked about in one of the questions too, was about that, right? Can you read that one? Do you have that?
Which one?
There was something about each of the seasons, I think. We
Oh.
put some. Did you not remember that? Um,
I
uh,
don't know. I was busy looking for a few other comments that we didn't wanna
uh,
lose, so I don't know where you're.
oh
I'll read
yeah,
Carolyn's where you looking.
this is what she answered. So she answered this. Uh, this was posted yesterday. Take a few quiet minutes today and write down a specific memory of your child in each of the four seasons. So that's what she
Okay.
did.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's beautiful. I
I,
love that.
I would invite all of us to do that, to like
Mhm.
come up with a wonderful memory in each of those seasons if you can. It's a beautiful way to think about our children and remember them, and it was a nice exercise I think to think
I
about
think
it.
so too. Yes, now I
And
know
I
where you were coming from, yeah.
yeah, and so many things were had. I think we posted a little late, so people write anything on Facebook. We just had that one person write on Instagram. Probably didn't give people quite enough time on these,
Right.
but
But they can
I,
still do it, and when it airs on
I
Thursday, people will still do it. Tell a friend, share it with someone, post it on their own page, you know. Yeah.
yes, yes. I still think it's a beautiful exercise to think about doing. So I would do that. Other
Yeah.
thoughts that I wanted to make sure to talk about.
Well, I don't wanna miss it. There's one comment from Carolyn who said, "No season change in mood prior to losing Jimmy. I don't feel a seasonal loss after losing Jimmy. However, every year is different with his birthday, the day he passed away, special occasions, and holidays. This year, it was Mother's Day that was difficult for me. That was a first for me." So, what she's saying is you can't predict which ones are gonna be hard.
No,
Yeah,
I think that's a great point that you
yeah,
absolutely think you and that also goes with, when you have these anniversaries and you think, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do the same thing every single year. No, you're probably
yeah,
not. It's
yeah,
okay. It is really okay that you're not. You
right.
need to do what feels right in that moment at that time.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting because when I said I had a few tips and I'll just read through them, but, sticking to a routine is really important in all seasons of life. And we know how important sleep is, and you probably talk to your patients about it. But waking up, going to bed at the same time, even when daylight hour shifts, um, because your internal regulation,
Mhm.
right, when you're in that habit. So that's good to always stick to your routine. And there are some people who even in summer kinda stick to their routine. I just went crazy in the summer. We didn't have a routine, and that's what made the transition back to fall so hard. But I mean, we were out at bonfires at 10 o'clock at night, and yeah. Prioritizing sunlight exposure, like, natural light is critical, and I think for those of us who live in West Michigan, even in the winter, we do not have a lot, especially in the winter, we don't have a lot of sunlight, but just taking a short walk, and as mentioned before, if sunlight is limited, light therapy, those kinds of things are good. Um, Staying active, physical activity in all of the seasons, that's key. Like people say, how am I going to make it through? That is key for all seasons. Doesn't matter, spring, winter, summer, fall. Um, and of course our eating well and practicing stress management, just techniques of deep breathing, journaling, and then staying connected, because isolation will always make our seasonal depression or struggles worse. So you have to make an effort to engage with friends or family, support groups, even if you don't feel like it at church at first. um, Small changes makes a big difference. And so just being connected to other people and just say, this is a tough time of year for me and I need to be connected with my friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the point too, is just being open. Times are hard for you and being willing to tell people about it. And even though it may feel sense to you, I hope this conversation helps you to understand that we all experience this. We all have difficulties when we're going through changes in seasons. And
Mhm.
just tell this is really hard. Fall is hard for me. August is hard for me, or February is hard for me, or
Mhm.
just inviting people to be able to be there for you, because you know what? Our friends and family do want to be there for us and support us and
Mhm.
I for help, but this is the time. These are the times that you
Yeah.
hopefully can ask for help.
Yep. We are never meant to do this alone, and so that's key, is just staying connected to your people and in some way, in the support. And that's why I love, like, your group still connects, right? And if
Mhm.
you're in if any of your listeners are in a group that's ending, you can just find little ways to stay connected to people and not isolate ourselves in this season.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I do think the sunshine, and here's another suggestion that wasn't, when I started my job, wasn't a big thing, but this whole grounding or just getting out and feeling the grass in your toes,
Yeah.
I've been trying to do that, just to see if it makes a difference. And I haven't studied it a lot, but I am enjoying it.
Mhm.
I am. So
Well,
that's
good.
my little
Good.
thing. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much
Okay.
today and appreciate it. And well, look
Take care.
forward in 6 weeks for our next one. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Marcy.
Mhm.